I woke up in the hospital. Had no recollection of going there. A nurse was leaning over me. A rather pretty one, I thought, though it was hard to tell through her mask. "He's awake, doctor," she said. She left the room, and now a doctor leaned over me. "Hello, Mr. Atreides. I am Dr. Ramakrishnan. You are a very lucky man." I had never felt so tired. "Where am I, and why am I here?" I asked. "You are at Emory Heart and Vascular Center, and you had a massive heart attack. We were barely able to save you. You will recover, but your life must change." "Change how?" "From what your wife told us, you lead an incredibly stressful existence. You run a high-tech startup with billions of dollars at stake. You're working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't exercise. You live on junk food. You drink too much. If you keep going on like this, it will kill you. You're only 27. A man your age has no business having a heart attack." All this was true, but I had no desire to hear it. My company, Perpetual Motion LLC, was going to change the world, and I didn't have time for piddling things like my health. We were developing a tiny thorium-powered reactor that couldn't melt down and could power 20,000 homes without creating nuclear waste or carbon dioxide. If we could manufacture them for $10 million each, we could power every home in America for less money than the feds had been throwing at lesser problems lately. We just needed another year or 2 or 3 of long hours and, yes, high stress to finish the engineering. "So what do I need to do?" I asked. "You need to quit your job," he said. "Stay completely away from work. No Zoom meetings, no email, no phone calls." "What?" "I can't possibly do that. If you don't, there is a good chance you'll die, which will keep you away from work forever." Am I really in such bad shape? I wanted the data. Dr. Ramakrishnan gave me the data. Showed me images of clogged arteries, scary vitals readings, scary lab test results, highlights of the post-operative report. Damn! He convinced me that he wasn't exaggerating. I was a physical wreck. "But if I leave work now, my company will die." I said. "If you go back to work, you will die. Have you not trained a successor? Do you not have capable people who can carry on without you? Your only job now is to recover and reduce stress in your life." I thought about that. If I was the Steve Jobs of my company, Marko Markovich was our Tim Cook. He understood my vision, understood the technology, and was better than me at making the trains run on time and under budget. Could I trust him not to fuck things up? I could. If I believed the doctor, I had no choice. Oh my God, how could I possibly unplug? My phone, my tablet, my computer were non-stop interruption machines. I would have to turn them off. Quit social media cold turkey. Get a new phone number, a new email address. Yes, I have a successor. Yes, he can run the company in my absence. I need to be involved. I want to know what's going on, what the problems are, how to solve them, what it will cost. I'll go crazy without work. I didn't say you can't work, the doctor said. You just can't work at your old job. Once you recover from the hole I had to make in your chest, you'll be able to do light, non-stressful physical work. Doing the dishes. Vacuuming. That sort of thing. My wife does all those chores, I said. Maybe she could use a break, he said. Talk to her about it. Is she employed? Oh, yes, I said. She's an attorney. We can easily live on her salary. Then talk to her. Talk to your office. When you get out of the hospital, do not go back to work. Ever. Otherwise I'll see you back in here, and I might not be able to save you next time. My wife, Elena, came to visit me in the hospital the next day. She was dressed for work, a white silk blouse, a charcoal gray suit with a pencil skirt that showed off her bottom, and 3-inch black patent heels. She asked how I was. I told her I was alive, but tired and weak. Dr. Ramakrishnan told me that you need to stop working, Elena said. I'll certainly need some time to recover, I said. No. He said you need to stop working for good, she said. Retire. Quit. Stay home. I can't do that. I'll take a month or 2 off, and maybe after our next milestone. No, she said. If you go back to work, it'll kill you, and I don't care to lose the man I love before he turns 30. We haven't even had children yet. I wasn't sure I wanted children, but that was a discussion for another time. So what the hell should I do with myself if I can't work? Stay home, she said. Play golf with your buddies. No, something less stressful. Nothing competitive. It'd be a big help if you could take on some of the housework. You mean like doing the dishes, or laundry? I've never done anything like that. If you're smart enough to design a thorium reactor, you're smart enough to learn how to sort the wash, she said. I'll teach you. I'd feel ridiculous just doing housework, I said. It's not exactly the best and highest use of my abilities. Nor mine, she snapped. Not at what I bill per hour. And hey, your abilities almost killed you. You need to dial down your life. Never mind that your amp goes up to 11, you were turned up to 12. You need to turn yourself down to about 5. Housework is exactly the type of activity you need once you're up and about again. I'm too tired to argue, I said. Let's talk about it once I'm home. Fair enough, she said. But don't spend the week plotting your return to work. You aren't returning to work. You're retired now, for health reasons, and I intend to see that you stay retired. A week later, I was home again. Able to walk, able to do simple things as long as I didn't lift anything heavier than 10 pounds. Able to do the dishes. Able to vacuum, though not to drag the vacuum cleaner up the stairs. I had to ask Elena to do that. Able to do the laundry, though I couldn't carry a full basket downstairs. Elena had to do that. I was able to make the beds. Able to do most of the household chores. That didn't mean I actually did all those things. Elena still did more than half of the housework. But I was doing enough of it to notice. I let her keep doing the more feminine things that I didn't know how to do, like cooking and ironing. I talked to my financial advisor and attorney about retirement. They saw no obstacles. As CEO of Perpetual Motion LLC, I had an excellent severance package. I would never have to work again. Even Elena could quit if she wanted, though she never would. She was as driven in her field as I was in mine, but she hadn't had a heart attack, in fact was disgustingly healthy, and could work for as long as she wanted. I felt foolish being trapped at home, doing what I thought of as women's work, but it was the only way I would be able to contribute to the household, if I did it. I quit my job. I had a Zoom call with the board, told them I was under doctor's orders to retire for health reasons, turned down a lucrative offer to stay, and instead recommended they make Marco the new CEO. They did, and added a nice bonus to my golden parachute. I nixed the idea of a retirement dinner or ceremony. I wasn't up to it, physically or emotionally. Elena took a rare weekday off from work to drive me to the office to sign some papers and shake the appropriate hands, but that was it. I never saw the office again. I'm so proud of you, Lysander, she said on our way home, as we idled in the horrible rush hour traffic I'd had to battle both ways every day, with the sun in my eyes both ways. I didn't think you could jump off the hamster wheel, but you did. And I really appreciate how you're starting to take on some of the housework. I love being able to take a bath at night instead of a quick shower, hearing the dishes clatter as you unload and reload the dishwasher. It's almost like having a housewife of my own. You mean a house husband, I said. And such a sweet one, she said. I was talking about you to Madge Du Bois the other day. She was so jealous. Says her Timmy never did a lick of housework, she had to do it all herself, and she got so sick of it that she gave him a choice: split the housework equally, or leave. Leave? Over housework? That's a bit drastic, isn't it? Well, it worked. He's doing almost all the chores now. He was so sloppy at first that she made him wear an apron, but he cleaned up his act and looks very nice now, she said. I shivered at the thought of Tim wearing an apron. He was a small guy with long hair, like me. It probably made him look like a girl. Is he still wearing it? The apron? Oh, yes. She says he told her it somehow puts him in housewife mode and makes it easier for him to focus on chores without getting distracted. I was wondering, honey. My Y chromosome antennae quivered, sensing danger. Is that something you'd be willing to try? She toyed with her hair in a way she knew I liked. What, me wear an apron? No way. Oh, but it would keep your clothes clean, and you wouldn't have to do laundry as often. And maybe it would put you in a better mood for doing housework, like Madge said. I don't think so. I'd look like an idiot in an apron. I think you'd look cute, she said. No one would see you except me, so what's the problem? You don't think anyone who wears an apron is an idiot, do you? Because even I wear one sometimes, like when I'm making anything with tomato sauce. It's different for a man. Aprons are women's clothes. Oh, chefs wear aprons, for the same reason I do, and they're not women. They're just being practical. But the aprons you have aren't practical, I said. They're made of some filmy fabric, and they have ruffles all over. She had 3 frilly aprons that she inherited from her mother. One to wear, one in the wash, and one to spare, as she put it. I'd like to try an experiment, she said. Wear an apron while you're doing housework for a week, and see if it improves your attitude toward doing chores. Maybe you can try adding a new chore, like mopping the kitchen floor, and see if the apron makes you less resentful. I'm not resentful when I do chores, am I? Sometimes, she said. You often call attention to the fact that you're doing a chore, instead of just silently doing it, the way I do. It's like you expect me to thank you for doing routine stuff that just has to be done. Stuff that you don't thank me for doing, because you just expect me to do it. You still think of it as women's work, don't you? She was right. I did. But, well, it's usually women who do it. And it's mostly men who go to work and bring home the paycheck, right? Wrong. Not anymore, not in this household. You're retired, for health reasons. Our roles have changed, sweetie. I'm the breadwinner, and you're my housekeeper. I'm not your housekeeper. You're certainly not a very good one. A good housekeeper usually does all the household chores. You're not even doing half. You still expect me to do the cooking, the ironing, the mopping. I'm not asking you to do everything, but I make a simple request that you try protecting your clothes with an apron for a week, and you get all defensive and macho on me. I don't like it. Why was she getting all worked up about this? Geez, maybe I should do the apron thing just to keep the peace. Okay, I said. I'll try wearing the apron. Satisfied? Oh, thank you, she said, and hugged me. Too tightly for my post-surgery sternum. I winced. She noticed. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting. Shall I show you my scar to remind you? No, thank you. Just wear the apron. I'll show you how to tie a bow behind your back. Important girl skill. I'm not a girl. Oh, I know, dear. Her smile was as enigmatic as Mona Lisa's. 2 weeks later, I put on my apron. It was mine now, not Elena's, and tied it behind me in a neat bow, as I now did every day. I fluffed its ruffles so they didn't look crumpled and got to work. My days had a pattern now. I got up, dressed, put on my apron and started my chores by making breakfast. Elena wolfed hers down, poured another cup of coffee into her travel mug, gave me a kiss and headed off to work. I had a more leisurely breakfast after all. I was under doctor's orders to relax and read the newspaper, something that I did every day now, instead of scanning headlines online. I found I didn't miss fussbook or twiddle at all. People shouting slogans and being angry. When I finished my breakfast, I did the dishes and tidied up the kitchen, and then I went upstairs, made the bed and tidied up our bedroom, tossing her discarded nightwear and yesterday's underwear into the laundry hamper. I made a quick pass on the bathroom, putting away the toothpaste, wiping the counter with a damp towel, and adding the towel to the hamper. After making my daily rounds of the kitchen, bedroom and bathroom, I did my main chore or chores of the day. This varied from day to day. I usually swept and mopped the kitchen, bathroom and utility room floors on Monday. Changed the bed linens and dropped off dry cleaning on Tuesday. Cleaned the toilets and sinks on Wednesday. Went grocery shopping and picked up the dry cleaning on Thursday. Vacuumed the carpets and rugs on Friday. Did the laundry on Saturday. Did the ironing on Sunday. There usually wasn't much ironing. I took Elena's work clothes to the dry cleaners, so Sunday was practically a day off for me, except for the chores I did every day, cooking meals, doing the dishes, and of course my daily round of the kitchen, bedroom and bathroom. I wore my apron whenever I was doing chores, and took it off when I was done. As I saw it, taking off my frilly apron was my reward for doing my chores. Until Elena suggested a change in the pattern of my days. It must be a bother to put on and take off your apron so many times a day, she said one night over dinner. I'd made a pseudo-Asian stir-fry, pork loin marinated in rice wine and soy sauce, with sliced mushrooms, julienne carrots, snow peas, bok choy, and fresh ginger, seasoned with hoisin sauce and a dash of chili paste, and served with sticky rice. It's no bother, I said. I like taking off the apron when I'm done. The thing is, a housewife's work is never done, she said. I'd like you to start wearing an apron all the time over your day clothes. Why? I don't need an apron if I'm not doing housework. There's always housework you could be doing, dear. When was the last time you washed the windows? Polished the silver? Cut fresh flowers from the garden and arranged them in a vase to raise my spirits when I come home? A perfect housewife is always thinking about ways to make her home more beautiful and orderly and welcoming. I'm not a her. I said. I'm a him. Your husband. For some stupid reason I agreed to wear an apron while doing chores, but I didn't sign up for wearing it full-time. Next thing, you'll be asking me to put on a dress. You would look cute in a dress, she said. Maybe someday, but not now. Now, all I want is for you to wear your apron all day, as a constant reminder of your role as my housewife. You can take it off when you leave the house or undress for bed. Oh, thank you, I said sarcastically. You're too kind. I know, she said. Just remember, one of these days I'm going to want you to dress up for me. I can make you look cute. Oh, come on, I said. I don't want to be cute. You can't be serious. Why do you want me to dress up? That's just weird. This thing with the apron, what's going on? Do you want me to look like a woman? I just want to remove stress from your life, she said. Your life as a man almost killed you. I know you feel guilty about having to retire. You have regrets. You're wired to compete, to win, to beat your competition, defeat the enemy, take his women, kill the cave bear. And now you can't. You feel like a loser. You're less of a man now. Her voice softened. But that's okay. Now you have a better, easier alternative. You don't have to worry about anything anymore. I'll protect you. I'll take care of you. I'll make our money continue to grow. All you have to do is gentle housework. Cooking, cleaning, washing, tidying. Nothing heavy, nothing hurried. You'll live a gentler, calmer life. As my housewife. I'm not your housewife. I'd like you to look like one, dear. I think you should change into a fresh apron before I get home, so that you look spotless. Wear it again the next day, then change into a clean one when you freshen up before I get home. You probably need more aprons. How do you mean, freshen up? Brush your hair, shave, wash your hands, change your shirt if it's dirty or you're sweaty, and put on a fresh apron. What if the apron I'm wearing is still clean? Put on a fresh one anyway. Run an iron over it first, so it's crisp and unwrinkled. I'll order more aprons, so you don't run out. This whole thing about wearing an apron is weird, Elena. I tend to wipe my hands on it while I'm working, which is pretty much the only way it gets dirty. If I wiped my hands on a hand towel instead, I wouldn't need the apron at all. But I like you in the apron, she said. You look so cute. My little housewife. I love you so much, honey. She kissed me, fondling me through the soft, rustling fabric, stroking my crotch. I had a natural reaction. It seems little Lysander loves his apron, too, she said. No. It's your hand, I said. She pulled it away. Oh. Sorry. Should I stop? No. Please. But if you want to play, take off my pants. I don't want to come inside them, I want to come inside you. Naughty boy. She unbuckled my belt, dropped my pants, pulled down my boxers. I sat. She took off my shoes and socks and pulled off my pants and underpants. There. Now you won't come in your pants. She returned to stroking me through the apron. I want you to come in your pretty apron instead. Why? I want sex with you, not sex with an apron. I said. Don't you remember, honey? Your doctor told me you need to abstain from intercourse for at least 6 months. Your heart might not stand the strain. He did say I could relieve you manually or orally, whichever was faster. You know I don't like oral, so manual it will have to be. I didn't remember my doctor saying that, but she did, and I guess it made sense for him to mention it to my wife. But you want to know what's better than sex with an apron? She said. Sex with an apron, in panties. Panties? Don't be ridiculous. I'm not being ridiculous at all, she said. As any girl can tell you, 2 layers of fabrics like nylon and satin are sexier than one. They slide over each other in the most delicious way. She stopped stroking me, opened the top drawer in her bureau, pulled out a lacy pair of white panties and flung them at me. I caught them. They were soft, silky and extremely feminine, with lace panels and a little bow at the waistline. Put them on. No. Then no cummies for you, she said. Maybe next week. She turned to leave the room. My cock started to droop. Wait. I spoke. Okay. I'll put them on. I gingerly stepped into the panties and pulled them up to my waist, feeling like a fool. Oh, pretty, she said. She sat down and started to stroke me through the apron and panties. I was instantly erect. She was right, the way the 2 fabrics slid over each other was more stimulating than the apron alone. Don't your panties feel nice? She said. She stroked me harder. Oh my God, I said. Oh, you're coming in your panties. Elena said triumphantly. A sizable wet spot appeared on the front of the panties and soaked through the semi-sheer apron. Oh, what a good boy you are. A wave of shame washed over me. I was not a good boy. Without a word, I went into the bathroom, stripped off the panties and dropped them in the clothes hamper. I reached behind me, untied the apron and tossed it into the hamper, too. I grabbed a hand towel and cleaned up my crotch. Back in the bedroom, Elena held out another pair of panties, the same kind as the ones I'd just taken off, but baby blue instead of white. No, Elena. I'm not going to wear panties. Oh, yes you are, she said. You like them. You just made love to them. It was your hand. You wouldn't have come that quickly in your boxers, she said. Here, take these blue ones. Blue for a boy. Rinse out the ones you just made love to and hang them up to dry so you can wear them tomorrow. We'll go shopping and I'll buy you more panties of your own. Don't be ridiculous. There's no need - stop whining, or I'll buy you bras, too. You've got a 36-inch chest, right? A 36A might be just right for you. She went shopping for my panties, and ended up buying me bras as well. Size 6 panties and lightly padded size 36A bras. The panties and bras were matching sets, in the same colors and with similar lace and other decorations. I played hooky from housework one afternoon, dressed in men's clothes, no panties, no apron, and shot a round of golf with a friend. I took a cart instead of walking, but by the time we finished, I was exhausted. Elena got home before I did. She never said a word about my little display of independence. Instead, she threw out all my boxer shorts except the ones I was wearing. My underwear drawer now contained only panties. I told her I would go to the mall and buy more boxers. She said she would throw them out, too. She wanted me to wear panties from now on because they were sexier and more comfortable than boxers. She was matter-of-fact about it, not angry or upset. In the end, I gave in. I agreed to wear panties all the time. I handed her my last pair of boxers and put on a pair of panties. I didn't make a huge deal about it because she was right. They were sexier and more comfortable than my old underwear. She made me take my pants down more often, so that she could fondle me through my apron and panties. These hand jobs became my only form of release. 2 or 3 times a week, I had to hand wash my semen-stained panties and apron and hang them up to dry. Elena complained that my trousers hid her view of my panties. She gathered up all my slacks and jeans and shorts and hid them while I was in the shower one morning, and made me spend the day in just panties, a t-shirt and an apron. The weather was warm, so I wasn't uncomfortable, just extremely embarrassed and annoyed. "I like your new look," she said. "From now on, you can wear trousers only when you have to leave the house. I want your panties on view at all times when you're inside." I got angry and shouted at her. She calmly told me that if I didn't calm down and do as she said, my pants would go the way of my boxers. She hung them on her side of the closet and said I could wear them only if I explained why I needed them, and she gave me permission, for example, to go shopping, or to shovel the driveway if it snowed. When I finished wearing them for that purpose, I had to take them off and return them to her. This was the most humiliating new rule yet. She didn't like the look of me in panties, men's shoes and black socks, so she confiscated my shoes and socks next and stashed them away with my trousers, available only on request. She bought me some ladies' white ballerina flats to wear around the house. They weren't too awful, no lace or sparkles, but they were obviously not men's slippers. She said they went much better with my panties than my old shoes and socks did, and looked a lot more comfortable. I expected her to take away my shirts next, but I was wrong. She took away the hair on my legs. "Leg hair looks icky with your panties and slippers," she said. "It's even ickier under stockings." "I don't wear stockings." "Maybe you will one of these days. You have nice legs. You should show them off." She ran me a bath, lathered my legs and showed me how to shave them. It wasn't hard, but there was a lot more skin to shave, and it took longer. When I dressed again, my bare legs did look better with the panties, slippers and apron. I would soon discover that the hair itched when it started to grow back, and I ended up having to shave my legs twice a week. "Armpits, too," Elena said. "Armpit hair is gross, even on guys." 2 weeks later, she asked, told me to start wearing a bra under my shirt. "Why?" "I don't need a bra," I said. "The panties, okay, they're a form of briefs. The slippers, okay, they're a form of shoes. The apron, okay, chefs wear them. But there is no male garment that corresponds to a bra. I don't have breasts. Why should I wear one?" "Well, for one thing, they match your pretty panties, so it's a waste of beauty to leave the bras in your drawer," she said. "They also help hide your nipples, which is necessary for modesty. If I ever coax you into a dress, it'll fit better if you wear a bra. But the most important thing is that I want to continue reducing the stress in your life, for health reasons. I'm weaning you from the hyper-masculine ways that almost killed you, and introducing you to feminine alternatives that will keep you alive. You're saying I'll die if I don't wear a bra? Don't be ridiculous. I'm saying that wearing a bra is part of a larger pattern of changes in your lifestyle that will help keep you alive, honey. You've done so well so far, honey, wearing aprons and panties and getting rid of your ugly, heavy trousers, so why would you balk at this point? Try wearing a bra, see how it makes you feel. They're all soft cup bras, no stiff underwires, so they should be comfortable. Let's see, you're wearing your mint green panties today, so..." She rummaged in my underwear drawer. "Here it is." She pulled out the matching bra. "Shirt off." "No." I said, "Shirt off." I removed my shirt. She slipped the straps over my arms, hooked it up and back, and adjusted the straps. "There. Now you're looking good. Panties and bra, a matched set. I reached for my t-shirt. No, she said. No boy shirt. Just your apron. She tied the apron on me and led me to the mirror. The bib of the apron fit a little better now that I had a hint of a bosom. I definitely looked more feminine. The bra made a huge difference. I like, Elena said. All the nasty boy clothes gone. Your new housekeeping uniform. She gently tickled my crotch through the apron and panties. I stiffened immediately. Oh, she said. Now I can see how excited you are. The stiffer you are, the more you want to make love to your panties. She kept stroking me with one hand and tickled one of my nipples through the bra with the other. I was surprised by the jolt of pleasure from my nipple. Just before I exploded, she stopped. Little Lysander is getting too excited. He needs to calm down. He needs to relax. And his daddy needs to do his chores. So I had to trot off in my mint green panties and bra, my white ballerina flats and my roughly, semi-sheer apron to do my daily chores. I felt a slight damp spot in my panties. If only she'd kept it up for a few more seconds. She teased me to the edge of ejaculation 3 more times that day, but never let me finish. By the end of the day, I was desperate for release. My apron slid over my panties and bra in a way that kept me at least slightly hard for most of the day. Before I started making dinner, she retied my apron more tightly, which just made everything worse. The apron skirt rubbed lightly over the lump in my panties. The tightened apron straps reinforced the constriction of the bra, a part of the female experience that was new to me. I discovered that my nipples got stiff if I played with them through the apron and bra. I was breathing a little heavily by the time I served the meal. Elena noticed. Feeling hot and bothered, honey? I nodded. Women's clothes are sexy, aren't they? I must say, you look very fetching. The apron wraps far enough around you to almost be a skirt. But I can still see your pretty panties and back. I feel half naked, I said. Is there some sort of cover-up I could wear? Something a little more, well, modest? Oh, it's good that you're finally noticing these things, she said. You're right, nice girls don't walk around in just panties and a bra. They need to cover their intimates. What you need, my dear, is a slip. She led me into my room and opened my second drawer. Yesterday it had held my t-shirts. Today, it contained more ladies' underwear, full slips, half slips and camisoles. She must have changed it last night, maybe while I was doing the dishes. More of my men's clothing gone. She pulled out a full slip and held it up by the straps. This one's pretty, she said. An inch of lace around the bodice and hem. A tiny bow between the cups. Delicate ribbon straps that don't slide out of place. White Antron nylon. Take off your apron and try it on. I was thinking something less feminine, I said. Why? You're quite feminine already, with your lacy panties and bra and your pretty apron, she said. The slip will cover up more lace than it shows, and you'll be more comfortable. Hands up. I took off the apron. She slid the slip down my arms, tucked it into place, adjusted the straps so they fit snugly over my bra. The slip was soft and felt luxurious against my skin. She helped me back into my apron and tied the straps more tightly than ever. Look at you now, she said. So prim and proper. I checked myself out in the mirror. The slip made me look better. Panties and bras don't hug men's figures as attractively as they hug women's, but the slip covered that up and made me look more streamlined. And decent, if it's decent for men to cover their nakedness with clothes made for women. I'd rather have my old clothes back, I said. Oh, please, Elena said. Stop moaning about getting to wear prettier and more comfortable things. Remember, I'm trying to remove stress from your life. It adds stress to my life when I have to run and hide whenever someone rings the doorbell, I said. You know my answer to that. Stop being embarrassed by what you're wearing. If the slip isn't enough, you could wear a dress, or a blouse and skirt, and some cute shoes. Being fully dressed should cure you of embarrassment. Not in women's clothes. They're your clothes now, she said. If you keep on whining about them, I'll put lipstick on you. I shut up. Go finish your evening chores. When it's time for bed, take off the apron, but leave everything else on. The slip is like a short nightgown. Can't I take off the panties and bra to sleep? I asked. No. You need to get used to the tender embrace of your undergarments. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling in the dark, thinking I was losing my mind. Today, I allowed my wife to take away my last article of male clothing and make me start wearing a slip and a bra, garments of no use to a male body except to simulate a female body. I had little doubt that my few remaining male clothes would disappear at some point, and then she would try to put me in dresses. Why was she doing this? Did she have some weird fetish? Did the sight of a man in woman's clothes turn her on? Or was it just the power she felt when she made me do what she wanted? And why wasn't I fighting back? Why didn't I refuse to dress in this demeaning way? Why was I going along with her silly restrictions on my clothing? I knew the answer. It was because I liked it. It wasn't just the clothes, though I was starting to appreciate the sexy feel of feminine fabrics. It was also what I would call the thrill of obeying her. She wanted to dominate, I wanted to be dominated. Shameful but true. Oh, I put up a show of resistance to retain a shred of my male self-respect, but when she told me to do some outrageous new thing like wearing a bra, I quivered with secret pleasure and did as I was told. I was such a wimp. I wondered what she would make me do next. In the morning, I dressed in a fresh pair of panties and bra, slid into a fresh slip, and tied myself into a fresh apron more tightly than I did yesterday, but not quite as tight as Elena did. Maybe she would tie me more tightly later. Maybe she would run her hands over the layers of nylon covering my bottom and give me a little swat. Ooh. I went downstairs and made breakfast. It was Saturday, so Elena didn't have to go to work. About last night, she said. I think I need to teach you to stop fussing about what I want you to wear. Today, I'm going to give you a makeover. This sounded ominous. Which means what? A lot of fun for both of us, she said. Let's see, I already have you in panties, bra, slip and apron. You still need a dress, stockings and heels. But before that, hair and makeup and nails. When everything's complete, we'll see how you look. Like an idiot, I said. Maybe. We'll find out. I think you'll be cute. Take off all your clothes. We need to shave your legs again. I don't want to wear a dress. Why not? You're already dressed in women's underwear. You might as well cover yourself properly. You can't go outside wearing only a slip. I'm not going to go outside in women's clothes. You may not want to, but you'll be able to, after your makeover, she said. You'll see. Now, stop whining and get in the tub. I took a bath and shampooed and conditioned my hair. I shaved my legs and chest, and then moisturized all the shaved areas. I asked Elena if women always moisturized after shaving. Of course, she said. Don't you? After shaving my face? No. Really? Well, you're going to start now. You need a body moisturizer and a facial moisturizer. I'll let you borrow mine for now, but we'll get you some. There are so many things you need. We have to go shopping. She parted my shoulder-length hair in the middle and brushed it back into a skimpy bun on the back of my head. A clip with a fabric flower held it in place. She pulled a few strands loose on each side of my face and used a curling wand to turn them into tendrils that made me look 5 years younger. She spent the better part of an hour doing my makeup. Foundation, concealer, powder, eyeliner, mascara, eyeshadow, blush, lip liner, lipstick, lip gloss. She explained how to use each, but it was too much to absorb at one sitting. 10 little tubes and jars and applicators. Makeup was an equation with 10 variables, and each variable could have as many values as her makeup kit had colors. I could follow technical briefings on power systems with no problem, but cosmetics were bizarre. Everything about makeup was totally subjective, which was maddening, and everything depended on everything else: my skin tone, what I was wearing, what color it was, the time of day, the type of event, how formal it was, how sexy I wanted to be, even what kind of mood I was in. I tried to imagine getting up in the morning and deciding how sexy I wanted to be today. A thought that never occurred to me as a man. How could women possibly make decisions about their looks? They had too much variety to choose from. Pants, skirts, tops or dresses, each in a million styles and every color under the sun. Accessories, jewelry, handbags, scarves, hair ornaments. Cosmetics. Hair. The permutations were infinite, and which was right? No wonder so many females were neurotic. We had a fight over nail polish. I lost. My fingers and toes soon matched my lipstick. Back in the bedroom, I struggled to fasten my bra behind my back. Elena told me how to cheat, by fastening it in front and then turning it around my body before putting my arms through the straps, but told me I needed to practice doing it the proper way until it was easy. The same went for a new item that fastened in back, a garter belt. She drew stockings up my hairless legs, a surprisingly sexy feeling, and clipped them to the garter belt. Panties went over the garters, and she explained why. My slip. She pulled the dress out of a garment bag in her closet, a stunning gown in cerise satin that she'd worn to a couple of weddings. It had a V-neck that plunged to a fabric flower between the gathered cups, with a snug cummerbund bodice and a full skirt that would fall almost to my ankles. I saw now that my lipstick and nails matched the dress. The garment bag also included a white taffeta petticoat to go under the dress, and a pair of pumps dyed to match the dress. Elena laid the petticoat out on the floor so I could step into it. She pulled it up to my waist and tied it tightly with a drawstring. Then she lifted the dress over me, pulling it down carefully to avoid musing my hair or makeup. I could feel the dress mold itself to my body as she zipped it up. I swiveled my hips to feel the novel experience of having skirts swish around me. I saw myself in the mirror with a sense of chagrin. I was wearing a dress. I looked like a woman. Not a guy in drag. A real female. My short stature, long hair, scrawny build and fine features contributed to the illusion. "I can't believe my dress fits you so perfectly," she said. "I guess we really are about the same size. I always thought you were bigger, probably because you're a man. You're actually quite svelte for a gent. I didn't think you could make me look this good. Now what? I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go. Well, I could take you out to dinner at a fancy restaurant, but then I'd have to get dressed up, too," she said. "So let's put you back in your apron, and maybe my pretty little housewife can cook us a nice dinner at home. We have those spicy Italian chicken sausages, fresh veggies and marinara sauce. You could whip up a tasty pasta dish. With that dress, you'll definitely need to wear an apron. Please, Elena. Can't I just take all this off? You win the makeover challenge. I admit you made me look like a woman, at least from a distance. You proved your point. I don't need to keep wearing all this. The shoes hurt." "Of course they hurt," she said. "Heels always hurt." "No, you can't take it all off. If you were a woman, this is what you'd be wearing. Well, maybe not a garter belt and stockings, but everything else. What could you take off without spoiling the look? Your slip? Your panties, maybe? Do you want to go commando?" "No. I didn't think so. Not when you like your panties so much that you make love to them. And wait until you try masturbating in your panties and slip, not just an apron. Even softer, even sexier. I'll definitely need to get you more slips. And aprons. Oh, and another petticoat, a regular one. That skirt is full enough that you could add another petticoat under the taffeta. You look like a vintage housewife, out on a date with her mate. Let's see you curtsy. Elena, listen to me for a minute. Curtsy first." I felt myself blush, and made a clumsy curtsy. "Now, what was it you wanted to say?" "Elena, you've finally got me all dressed up, okay? Are you satisfied? Are we done?" When can I take it off? I think it would be just lovely if you wore a dress all the time, she said. And an apron. You're my housewife, after all. You do the housewife's work, you play the housewife's role, why shouldn't you look like a housewife? Maybe because I'm a man? She ignored me. When I get home from a day in the legal trenches, how nice it would be to see my pretty housewife, in a fresh dress and makeup and perfume, giving me a kiss and handing me a glass of wine. I'd follow her into the kitchen and watch her make dinner while we talk about our days. I might talk about getting $100 million settlement in a class action suit, and you might talk about finally conquering your fear and going shopping at Nordstrom and finding this fabulous vintage-style dress with matching shoes and a purse. I was horrified. You're not serious. You really want me to live as a woman? Yes, she said. This may sound strange, but ever since you had to quit working, I've wanted to have a housewife. A pretty one, dressed the way a housewife should be dressed, doing all the women's work of the household. I'm the breadwinner, I don't have time or energy to deal with domestic things. Those are your domain. You can still wear a man's shirt, trousers and shoes when you leave the house, but you always need to have on your base layer of lingerie, panties, bra, garter belt, hose underneath. When you're at home, I want you in full female regalia. I can't believe this. I said. You're completely changing my life, changing my sex, just because you have this fantasy of a vintage housewife serving you like a maid. You're making me feel like a pervert, but it's you who's perverse. It's not normal to want your husband to look like your wife. What's normal, she said. You having a massive heart attack and almost dying, or a housewife acting like a housewife? Because that's what you are now. I've made it clear what I want you to do. Will you do it? What happens if I don't? You can always return to wearing just panties and an apron. Cute, if a little bare. I think we need to shave your butt and back. But it's a good look for you, and you had no trouble climaxing that way. You didn't even need the bra. I blushed at the memory. I'd much rather get my men's clothes back. She sighed. I'd much rather you didn't. I think we're going to remove all but an emergency set of menswear from the house. A suit, a pair of jeans, a tee. We'll need the closet space for your dresses. Because instead of prancing about just in panties, a bra and an apron, like a silly sissy, you should be fully dressed, as you are now. As my housewife. She stepped up to me and kissed me. I tasted her lipstick mingle with mine. I felt my dress sway around my hips, my apron strap squeeze my waist, my feet ache in my heels. Do you agree, Lysander? To become my housewife? You'll need a new name, a feminine name. Instead of Lysander, hero of ancient Sparta, you can be Lisa. A very pretty name, short for Elizabeth. Will you be Lisa for me, sweetness? Say yes. Did I dare say yes? I'm ashamed to admit that I was tempted. A growing part of me liked wearing the clothes. Men's clothes were drab and boring. Women's clothes were colorful and fun and sexy. Elena had trouble keeping her hands off me when I dressed up, and I didn't mind that at all, even if I had to redo my makeup and hair afterwards. I got a strange thrill inside when I did as she said. Especially in my new clothes. But it would be such a drastic change in my life. Was I ready for it? It struck me that, in a way, I died after my heart attack. The old me, Lysander Atrides, never came out of the hospital. He vanished, for health reasons. A new person was born that day, and it had taken her some time to find herself and discover who she was, and now she had a name, Lisa Atrides, the housewife of Elena Atrides. It was time for her to emerge from her chrysalis and take wing as a butterfly. Yes, I said. I'll be Lisa for you. Elena beamed at me. Lovely, she said. And look, you're already perfectly dressed for your new role. What you need next is a proper salon makeover, waxing, massage, hair, makeup and nails, so much nicer than what I can do at home. Going to the salon will be your public debut as Lisa. I'll see if I can get you into my salon tomorrow. I'll discreetly let the staff know about your situation, but I'll tell them to treat you like any other woman. so you'll need to be prepared to gossip. Do you have any children? What? You know I don't. They'll ask. Do you have a boyfriend? They'll ask. Be prepared to share intimate details of your life. After they make you gorgeous, we need to do major shopping for you. We're going to spend a tiny fraction of your golden parachute to get you properly dressed, shod, accessorized and beautified for your new life as Lisa, my housewife. She gave me a kiss. I think it's time for you to put on your prettiest apron, set the table and make dinner. Oh, did I mention that I've been slipping female hormones into those Belgian truffles you adore? Are your nipples starting to itch? 4 months later, I had a follow-up appointment with Dr. Ramakrishnan. He did a double take at the sight of me. I no longer wore men's clothes in public. They would have looked silly with my feminine hairdo, my plucked brows, pierced ears, enameled nails, and day makeup. Men's shirts could no longer hide my growing breasts. Today, I was nicely pulled together in one of my favorite day dresses, white polka dots on black rayon, with the snug bodice and full skirt that made the most of my figure, over a petticoat and a sensible pair of black pumps that perfectly matched my purse. As finishing touches, I wore pearls necklace, earrings, bracelet and ring and amazing Grace eau de toilette. My goodness, he said. You've changed. I blushed. Yes, doctor. I'm Lisa now. I gave him a tiny curtsy, as a feminine show of respect to a senior male. I assume you're working with an endocrinologist on your hormone therapy? I wasn't at first, but I am now. Dr. Jelani. She's excellent, he said, staring at my boobs. Much safer than to do it yourself. The results so far are impressive. I simpered at him. Thank you, doctor. I decided not to mention how my informal hormone therapy began. I was furious after Elena admitted to slipping hormones into my favorite treats. I insisted that we see a real doctor and manage my transition to womanhood properly. She agreed, rather too readily. Not until afterwards did I realize that I could and should have refused to take any hormones at all. But I didn't. Instead, I started what she suggested, a program of pills and injections that turned off my masculinity and turned on my femininity. My new boobs were beyond itching. They were insanely sensitive, even though I was still only a 36B cup. When Elena played with my nipples, she could make me scream. Well, Lisa, the good news is that your blood panels are excellent. Your blood pressure is 105/65, which is superb. All your stress symptoms are gone. How did you do it? I batted my eyelashes at him and patted my hair, the way women do when flirting with a handsome mature man of substance, like a cardiac surgeon. Oh, I just followed your advice, doctor. I started helping with the housework.